Hi, creatives. Welcome to episode 2 of Smartphone Graphic Design Tutorial. My name is Anslem Nemeka. I'm a brand identity designer, a creative graphic designer, and a public speaker. So, today we are going to be looking at the elements of graphic design. In our last class, we discussed that elements of graphic design, they are the fundamental building blocks used to create visually engaging and effective design. These elements work together to convey messages, establish aesthetics, and create structures. So elements are very, very important in graphic design. I used to give an example of an individual who moves into a new apartment that is an empty apartment, right? And this individual is saddled with the responsibility to arrange the room, to furnish the room, maybe with the bed, the foam, the tables, the wardrobe, the mirror stand, the book stand, the library, the chair, wherever, right? So all of these, the individual puts them together and arrange them in that new empty apartment. And at the end of the day, we'll see a fine house, a fine furnished room. So those instruments or those properties that was brought into the apartment, they are like elements that make up the beauty of the room. So in graphic design, your working sheet is your new apartment. Then the elements you are using, the visual elements like lines, shapes, images, texture, like we established in the last class or in the last episode one, you we understand that all of those elements we put them together and it forms a design. Now let's look at the elements one after the other. The first element is line. Line. Here you can see we have vertical line, we have horizontal line, we have diagonal line, we have intersecting line, we have perpendicular line, parallel line, zigzag, and curved line. So all of these lines, they are used in graphic design, right? So lines are basic designs element that define shapes, create divisions, and also guide the viewer's eye. So all of these, we use them in design. So this is the first element in graphic design, lines, don't forget. Now the second element is shape. Shape. You can see we have circle shape, we have triangle shape, we have square shape, arrow shape. So all of these shapes, they are enclosed spaces created by lines, colors, and texture. So when you are working on your design, you make use of shapes. Yes, you need shapes. Shapes are elements. So during the course of the practical classes, you will hear me say elements, elements. So whenever you hear a designer talk about elements or resources, the person is just talking about all of these shapes, lines, and what have you, right? So we have geometric shapes, we have organic shapes, and you can see the examples of all of these shapes. Now let's look at the second or the third element of graphic design, which is color. Color, very, very important and vital in design. So many designers get or miss out from this. You can give a creative and powerful design, but once your color does not blend, it spoils the whole job. So color psychology and color combination is very, very vital in your graphics adventure or industry, right? So in color we have color family, or in graphic design we have color family. So looking at the color palette by the right side of your screen, you discover we have color family and different shades. So in the red family, you can see red, you see us blood, you see some people call it pepper red. So all of that, they are in color red family. You see blue. In blue, you see blue, sky blue, navy blue, and all the blues. Are we together now? So these are color family. And I advise graphic designers, whenever you're working on your designs, you should make use of minimum, please note, minimum one color and maximum three colors. Your design should not exceed three colors. Are we together now? Yes. So white and black in graphic design is not a color. We call it zero colors. Zero colors, zero colors. So, but if you're working on a design that is a black and white design, it's still nice, right? You will call it zero or neutral colors. You are using a neutral color. But once you introduce a color that is outside black and white, it means we have started counting the colors. And make sure it doesn't exceed three colors. It helps to keep your work professional. And the next element is texture. Texture is the look of your background, how your background looks, right? We have visual textures, physical textures, we have digital texture. Looking at the picture on your screen, you will understand what I mean by texture. Texture is the look of your background, the background you are using for your work. So you are creating a design, you should ensure that the texture, the background communicates the information you want to pass across in your design, right? Somebody is designing a flyer, a food flyer, and you are using a church background texture for food flyer design. No, or you're designing a church flyer and you're using a food background texture for it. No. So you have to know the right background texture you use in your design. Let's move to the fifth one, which is typography. The fifth element. Remember, the first element is what? Lines. Second one is shape. Third one is color. Fourth one is what? Fourth one is texture. Then the fifth one is typography. Are we together? Typography has to do with your text, your write-up, your font. Your font, very important. You create fonts or use fonts to pass information in your graphic designs or your flyer designs. So typography refers to the act of arranging text in a visually appealing way. And very, very important, this texture or typography includes font types and alignments. And we have different font types. We have serif, we have sans serif, we have script, we have display, and what have you. So in this class, when you watch other episode, I think maybe episode 5 or 6, you are going to discover from the tutorial on how to install fonts into your Pixel app, into your phone. You see some of these serifs and script as a beginner. You download some fonts inside this and you get your work started, right? So when you are using your font, please note you make use of minimum one font, maximum three fonts. So in your flyer design, please avoid using more than three fonts for your design. Let's look at the next one is space. Space enables you for readability, for focus and aesthetics, right? So some persons will see like keep the flyer busy. No, keep it simple. Looking at this flyer as a sample, a case study, you find out that there is a lot of white spaces around. So white space is what an element in graphic design. It helps to keep your work simple, emphasize on the main focus, keeps your font readable, right, and create an aesthetic design. So all of these help your design to look professional and wow. So please ensure you maintain your spaces. You don't jam your design with a lot of elements. Okay, let's look at the seventh element, which is imagery. Imagery includes photography, illustration, icons, and all of them are used to enhance visual communication. So using the right image for your flyer makes your work fine. So ensure that before you start your design, you locate or you get the right images that you need for such flyer design that will enable you communicate effectively through your design, right? And ensure that all the images that you are using on your flyer designs, they are of high quality. It should have high resolution and it should be relevant. Like must maintain alignment, must maintain brand identity. Your message should communicate, right? So the images, they are very important. You cannot be designing a real estate flyer and the images you are using is images of shawarma, images of food. No, that's wrong. You're designing a flyer for solar brand and you're using pictures like somebody that is making call. That's the wrong image for such flyer. So you should know the images you use for each flyer you want to do what design to ensure effective communication. Now the last but not the least is balance. Balance is the arrangement of your element effects overall harmony or affect overall harmony. right? Example of balance includes symmetric balance, that is equal weight distribution on both sides. Looking at this template here, you find out that your flyer should have equal distribution of elements. So you don't go and pack all the elements to one side of the flyer and it will weigh it down. So you do what? You balance them. Now, in our next video, we're going to be looking at the principles of graphic design. Please stay tuned and connect for episode 3. Thank you and have a blessed time.